There's a difference between someone enjoying your content as a creator and someone who believes in it enough to invest in it. And if you're serious about what you're creating, you need to understand the gap. My best bet, pizza serve. My best bet, pizza serve.
Best that I can do. Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Designing in your face. Designing in your face. Don't know what to design today, but there's just one thing I know for sure. What's up, everyone? I'm Deft, and welcome back to another episode of Designing Labs, where clients and colleagues help me complete the challenge of designing a memorable design in just a moment, or laugh at our designs. Now, today's special guest client slash colleague is none other than me, Devin here in flesh, representing for Deft. I am today's special guest client slash colleague, and we're going to dive into why I started off today's episode of the podcast the way I did. You're probably wondering, why? Get to the show. Well, that's it. There really is a difference between someone who enjoys your content as a creator and someone who believes in it enough to invest. And we're going to break that down in today's episode of the podcast. You know, this is a real pleasure, yet at the same time, this is a little bit of uncharted territory for me because we're really going to get down to what's going on with Deft, how it's working, what's not working, and how you can change that. And what I am doing to change that as well. So it's not just a me, or it's not just a you, it's you and I, as we've talked about in previous episodes of the podcast, but today we're going to show you that in real time. So let's get into it. Now, when it comes down to it, yes, let's start off by at least breaking down what it means to really invest in a brand like Deft. Well, investing in a brand like Deft is not all about the finances, even though the finances, is what keeps the business going. So yes, that's an important aspect of it. And when you invest in something like this, especially as an independent creator like myself, you want to see a return on investment like anybody else would in any other business market. However, it's a little bit different because there's legacy on the line. There's a certain sense of pride that goes with this as well, because it's no longer just about, me, challenging myself. This is really something that is also a reflection of me as well as an individual and as an artist and as a man, as a black man, as a creative artist who is figuring it out in real time in real life. Like, this is part of my journey, and you're here to witness it. And you don't take that lightly. At the same time, as we unpack, we understand that over time, some things get lost, or some things never really get broken down or understood. And the most simplest way to put it is, you gotta be willing to stick around for the whole picture. You can't just get it in micro doses like shorts and clips and things like that. I mean, you can, but you won't get the full picture, even if you do watch the whole clip. I mean, that's just how it is in real life. In any kind of movement that you would start, you have to find your point of entry and hold on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stick around. You can't pick in and choose in and out when you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself. If you really are trying to be something about something bigger than yourself, you really gotta show it, you know? So I would like to say that when it comes down to, showing, that someone really believes and is really truly invested in a brand like Def, uh, the actions really do lead up to what they say, like when somebody really invested some money into the brand outside of myself, you'll see that because of the fact that it definitely will be utilized in a way that hasn't been utilized as of now. And there'll be, evidence of it. And most importantly, you'll know because of the fact that when it comes to us, we always show gratitude. So if you are, someone who's quietly thinking about investing, hey, we welcome you on in advance and letting you know this is a safe place to be able to ask questions, to listen the friction between you and I or your boss or whoever it may be. But at this point, we just want to say on today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to now go ahead and just break down to you the different levels of commitment and audience behavior that comes with that commitment when it comes down to the difference between it being, someone who just likes the content you create and someone who invests because they believe in the content you create. So, like they say, anything else, you know what I'm saying? There's levels to this. There's level one, two, and three. I like to break it down to those three different levels. And it's very simple. Like the first level is definitely, you have your, I wouldn't say they're, what's the word I want to say? It is passive, but there's no better way to say it. Yes, it's a passive, but it's still very valid. So I don't want to think that because it's passive consumption that is at the very bottom level that is not valued. It is appreciated and it goes a long ways and shows the starting point. But just know that is just creaking the door open. Like that's not even really even pushing the door open or really even entering the room. And shout out to all of those people who actually entered the room and stepped up and man helped us out shaping, these five projects that I'm working on that are coming out later on this year. Some of them you might hear some of the content coming out sooner than later. But so just be ready to know that we locked in, we already got the top three tracks for both projects, so we already got something cooking, y'all. So, thank you for everyone who was there for the private uh, track selection for those two projects, which I have not even announced what the title of those are. And those people who watch that are the only people who know about the project. So, man, everybody on Patreon, like once I said, once again, thank you for the amazing live event and just showing your support. And that is a prime example of investing because those people right there show it through their actions, not only just by, investing by starting up, a membership, what starts off as little as $5. No, they also showed up and took time out of their lives in real time to invest back into something that they know that they were going to get a return in as well. And man, that goes to show you in real time, like a case study right there of what it means to invest in the brand Deft as opposed to being someone who's just likes the content we create. And both of those people are value to the overall picture of why we're here. However, we cannot we cannot not give credit when credit is due. So, like I said, thank you. Big shout out to the Patreon members who were there and attending, and you know was able to help us shape up the top three songs that formed the alignment of the direction of the project. So, and everything was seemed to be flowing just well. So there was no complaints. So man, I'm happy about that. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier about those levels, about the passive behavior of level one when it comes down to passive consumption, people who watch, people who like, people who may even share. I'm not saying that sharing is not just as invaluable, because it is very valuable, but that's still, like I said, at the very lower level of showing how much you invested into the brand. Now, a level up from that, level two, is where you get into the comments. It's fire. Like, it's really, really good. I've been waiting so long, you don't know, coming from a place, broken home. Close your mouth, move it along, look elsewhere, cover south, don't go, not like that, take 'em back. 86 cats on food biz taught me that if you wanna eat good, stay off the hood, focus strong. I've been waiting so long, you don't know. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so I've been waiting so long, you don't know, coming from empty head, sick living, paint thin, filled with lead, not seen yet misled, youth is true, so I play, give them hope, don't choke, just smile, tell them no. If they wonder, feeds my hunger, can't wait no further. I've been waiting so long, you don't know, coming from. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long. So man, I got your message. Loud and clear, bro. What are those you're wearing, though? Come on, man. Can't have you out here looking like that, bro. Seriously, like, what are you wearing? Don't even worry about it. I'm glad you came to the merchandise shop. Don't even answer that question. Hey, by the way, what size do you wear? Okay. Well, hey, in order to be part of this crew, man, like, you gotta be a man of multiple different hats. Not everybody can wear these. Well, I guess you can. I lied. Anybody can wear it. Literally. Especially if you just go onto our website. Shares. I would say actually let's change that. I would go ahead and say that level two would be the shares because I wouldn't say that people are right off the bat always share. A lot of times they just want to watch and see if you're going to have longevity. So I would say, that's another thing too, that, there's a sense of, I guess, risk with anything you do and with anything you watch for the first time, you're wondering, is this really for me or not? So I understand that. But going back up to like level two, where we have, like I said, you have your comments, you have your shares, you know, those things lead on to further engagement for, brands and other creators like yourself to be able to add on to the community, which is all that we can ask for when it comes down to building this organically, because the community is what's the foundation of definitely day one. That was the primary reason why I created Deft. It wasn't about me saying I want to show people what I can do. I wanted to really bring people together who have amazing skills and talent and are who are part of a bigger story than just what they know. They're part of my story. They're part of some of the stories you're going to see in the future. And it's been a hell of a journey. And they have not only shined in the stories, but also have taken open some like new inspiration to possibilities of ideas that they never really thought of because they didn't have that we didn't have that conversation. But because of this platform, we do. So things like that, I think, leads us towards showing the return of of investment, which breaks down that friction, which should lead us to level to three, which is where people invest, where, you buy designs, like the book, the Deft Journal, where you collaborate with us, whether it be on content or it be on uh, any type of branding, you know, marketing materials you may need, whether it be a poster or it be a flyer or a logo design or a landing page, or if it's even something, like I said, social media wise, when it comes down to like influence or anything like that, like all of that stuff matters when you show that you really are invested in it and you're not just saying, I like this, or, like I said, passively scrolling and sharing. Those things are important, and those lead to the compound interest, which should lead to level three. And with that said, I think like that's where opportunities are endless at, because that's what breaks the loss in translation and builds the gap in between, as like you said, back to the beginning of you need to understand the gap. Uh, if you are someone who's seriously about building something like Def, because I think, you know, that's where we'll start seeing more people hitting us up for the Def Sprint, which is a consultation of the $99 for 30 minutes where you can really clearly define, who your brand is, what you're serving, where your message is, where it's being lost, things like that. Take that time to be able to really, you know, identify who you are and what you're trying to do as a brand. And that it alone is what another aspect of what breaks Deft so Deft. We're not just out here creating stuff that we think is Deft. We create stuff that people like yourself want to see. People like yourself are included in it. People like yourself have a vision and aren't scared to see it come to life. That's what this platform designing lasts lives for. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we love to have a great time, crack some jokes, have some fun, you know, build relationships that will last a lifetime. But at the end of the day, we are here to also challenge what we know from before so that we can be better going forward. So if you're someone who is, you know, enjoys this case study and wants to see Deft not only thrive, but also wants to collaborate with Deft, don't be shy. Go ahead and hit us up. You know where to find us. This is an open opportunity to be able to have that conversation so we can identify who you are, what you are, and how deaf are you. I will say this, man, like after all that breaking down, and clarifying, why we're here and the urgency of understanding, you know, living in the now and not in the past tense or what in the future is, because you can't even get to the future if you're not living in right now. So I want you to leave with this in mind. If you're really considering like taking your brand or your vision and bringing it to life, put a comment down below, Deft, and let's start the conversation. I think the return on investment that you're going to get when it comes down to that is priceless. And I'm not speaking in no commercial format or trying to give you no sentimental, hallmark moment. This is real deal, no spill. Yeah, I said it. Because seriously, at the end of the day, the creativity is not going anywhere. The projects and the risks that we are willing to take on them are not going to slow down. They're not going to get pushed aside or anything like that. So at the end of the day, it really matters of what are we doing to build on to this compound interest of investment that we call Deft. Because I believe that everyone here not only is deaf in their own unique way, I really do truly believe that, and as a testament of that, I'm willing to show that through every episode whenever we have guests on here by showing that through actions, doing my best by completing the challenges. And as you see today, there was no challenge. However, it still is a challenge because at this point, we are here today with the challenge of turning you from a passive consumption viewer to a deaf investment. One that's built to last and, not scared to go fast as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave on out the door this way now because I feel like I'm talking in rhymes and I don't want to. Yeah, I'm about to leave. But hey, until next time, y'all, just remember this. I'm Dev Dog Devin here with another episode of Designing Labs. If you learn anything from me as an artist or from Deft as a brand, just note this. You're deaf because that's deaf. So stay creative, stay engaged. Until next time, peace. Oh, by the way, Sketchy Success. He panicked, by the way. Why did he panic? You gotta watch the episode to see. Link not in the bio, not in the comments. On YouTube at Devin's Death. And join our Patreon. We have all kind of new exclusive content coming out weekly. Hell, it might start coming out daily, but you won't tell the difference unless you are there. So, hey, join us and let's have some fun at Patreon at Devin's Death.